Welcome to our film, where we will be sharing recipes for unconventional heel spur treatment based on our personal experience of successfully applying these methods. Please note that the use of these treatments cannot guarantee 100% successful recovery and is based on personal positive experience only. The entire responsibility for the effect of the treatment lies with the viewer. Before using these methods, it is recommended to consult a medical specialist if possible. It should be noted that positive results can be achieved with prolonged use of the above methods. Show patience and perseverance, as well as common sense. All materials are taken from the popular in the countries of the former USSR edition of the newspaper ZOZH from 1998 to the present. Recipes are selected not by chance, but on the basis of practical application, in the opinion of the author of this video, which may not coincide with the opinion of other people. Of course, not all methods of folk medicine, the effectiveness of which has been tested for centuries. Be healthy. Mix the honey and salt together, preferably sea salt, in a ratio of 1:1. Take a nice, long, relaxing bath or soak your feet in a basin of warm water. Once you're done, smear the heel with this lovely mixture, put a doubled folded gauze cloth on top, cover the top with plastic wrap, then put on a woolen sock and put under the heel of a water or electric heating pad. Keep it until the water heater cools down or for about half an hour when using an electric heater. Then, just sleep in a sock. Do this at least 10 times. Do this at least 10. Now, pour the raw egg right over the table vinegar. Let it stand for 24 hours, and then you'll see the magic happen. Then, just halfway through the 24 hours, drain the vinegar, remove the egg, peel it, put it back into the vinegar, throw away the shell, add 50 gras of fresh unsalted butter, preferably homemade, beat with a wooden spatula, spread a thick layer of ointment on the heel and bandage it overnight. And another lovely recipe for heel spurs. Now, grate the black radish on a fine grater, right on the skin. Just apply this lovely paste overnight and you'll see the difference in no time. Just 3 simple steps and your spurs will be as good as new. In the morning, give your heel a nice warm wash with some water. This will help to remove any unpleasant odors that the radish might have left behind. Dig up the root of the garden flower iris, wash it well, and put it through a meat grinder. Put the pulp into a jar and add 250 grams of alcohol. Cover with a capron lid and wrap with black paper. Put the jar in a dark place for 15 days. Shake the mixture every 2 days. After the tincture is ready, you can proceed to treatment. Cut a bandage 10x 10 centimeter, soak it in tincture of iris, squeeze it, and apply it to the heel. Cover with cellophane and leave overnight. In the morning, remove, and the next evening do the same, but with petroleum jelly. Alternate the procedures and do 20 compresses in total. 10 with tincture, 10 with petroleum jelly. Take 2 kilos of fish. I took the meat off the backbone and threw the backbone away. I divided the flesh into 10 parts and put them in the freezer. In the evening, 1 bag was thawed and divided into 2. I put a bag of fish on my foot, on top of a sock, and put the fish on the most painful places, on the bone and on the rise of the leg. I tied it with a scarf and slept like that. In the morning, I washed my feet and gave the fish to the cat. After 10 nights, the pain stopped. Mix 0.5 liters of brandy with 3 pods of red pepper and a glass of coarse salt. Leave for 5 days. Use the mixture as a lotion on heel spurs or areas affected by osteochondrosis. Salt and pepper help reduce inflammation and infection. Brandy and red pepper can make tissues softer, which reduces pain and discomfort. The infusion improves blood circulation, which speeds up healing. Grind through a meat grinder nettle, Urtica dioica, collected in May, put the resulting mass on the back of the leaf burdock, Arctium, and covered with polyethylene, fix this compress overnight on the heel. Walk with nettle, burdock and day, fixing the one with a tubular bandage. After 2 weeks, the pain has noticeably subsided, and in the summer I forgot about them altogether, even allowing myself to play soccer. Dig in the forest roots of junipers. Wash, finely chop a full cup, 200 milliliters, then fill a glass bottle, 0.5 L, with them. Fill to the top with alcohol and insist 14 days in a dark place, occasionally shaking. Strain and drink 1 tablespoon 3 times a day, 30 minutes before meals. "25–30 gr. of dried chicory plant, Cichorium intybus, pour boiling water and soak for 10 minutes. Then dip the feet in the most tolerable hot infusion. Without wiping them off, wrap them, having previously made a compress of the remaining herbal porridge for the night. Use this porridge and make baths should be until the chicory tincture does not begin to sour. There is such a herb, popularly called chicken blindness, and in reference books, celery-leaved buttercup, Ranunculus celeratus. Need to take a bundle of grass, brew on low heat boil for about 10 minutes. Then pour all the contents into a basin and steam the legs until the water cools. Procedures to do every other day or every day. Who has, how it turns out, I had enough 7 procedures, and an elderly neighbor who practically did not walk, 15 sessions. Heel spur was cured in 1 session. First, we steamed the feet, then we tied an onion cut across to the heel and fastened it with a bandage and a sock overnight. My feet burned very badly, and at 2 a.m., the bandage was removed. The onion was dry. No second treatment was needed. Onions proved to be an effective remedy for heel spurs. Steaming the feet and applying a cut onion to the heel helped to get rid of the problem quickly. It is important to note that the procedure can cause severe burning, but this is a normal reaction of the body to the treatment. Take 1 potato of medium size. Grind while hot and mix with 1 tablespoon of kerosene. Quickly lay out on a polyethylene film and bandage to the foot. Try not to let the mashed potatoes get on the delicate skin. Put on a sock and go to bed. In the morning, wash your feet with warm water. Repeat the treatment at least 3 times. Potatoes have anti-inflammatory properties, and kerosene helps to reduce pain and swelling. I save myself from spurs on my heels with chestnut ointment. In autumn, I collect chestnuts, 10 pieces cleaned, chopped, and put in a 0.5-liter jar. I add 200 grams of pork fat and 1 bottle of camphor oil. Mix everything in the jar. The cure is ready. Before going to bed, heels roll a rolling pin on the floor to soften the growths, spikes. Then I apply the ointment as a compress until morning. I had enough 7 procedures. Heels stopped hurting. I began to walk normally. 1. Cut burdock, Arctium lapa, and plantain leaves, Plantago major, in equal parts with a knife and grind them in a cup with a wooden mortar until they are wet. 2. Put them on a polyethylene film and tie them to the heel. 3. I have already forgotten how many times I tied them, 4 or 5, and everything went away. This recipe was offered as a comment to an article on the treatment of heel spurs. The author of the recipe did not specify the number of days he used this remedy, but noted that it helped him. If there is pain in the heels, such that it hurts to step on them, it is necessary to dissolve in water a small piece of therapeutic mumijo, 1 g per 30 milliliters of water, draw a grid with it on the heel, and on the second day in this place, iodine grid. And so, 5 times a mesh of therapeutic mumijo and 5 times iodine. 25 years ago, I did such a procedure, and I did not need to repeat it again. Pour pine sawdust into a wide basin. Fill with boiling water. When the sawdust cools down enough to be bearable, put your sore feet in the soaked sawdust and keep them as long as possible, 3 to 4 hours. Add hot water as it cools down. My spurs disappeared after 3 treatments. This recipe was offered as a commentary to an article on the treatment of heel spurs. The author of the recipe did not specify the number of days he used this remedy, but noted that it helped him. I took 1 tablespoon each of honey, iodine, and fine salt. I mixed these ingredients and applied it to my heel at night or even during the day. The pain decreased after a few days, and I continued to use this remedy for about a month. The composition was enough for the whole course of treatment. Says the Dr. Phytotherapist Alexander Pechenevsky, for this purpose, I would advise to make baths for the feet. Take in equal parts of leaves and branches of birch, betula, bark and branches of willow, salix bark, plantain grass, plantago lanceolata, horsetail, equisetum. Cook in 3 to 4 liters of water, 10 to 15 minutes, cooled, and in this decoction, steamed feet for 20 to 30 minutes. In the same decoction, feet can be steamed several times. To improve the effect of the same decoction, soak socks, put on your feet, wrapped in polyethylene, and until morning. This set of procedures repeat several times until you notice improvement. Recipe from red elderberry berries of red elderberry, Sambucus racemosa. Fill 3/4 of any bowl, pour alcohol to the top, and insist 1 week. Then strain, and the resulting tincture wet the sore spot. You can do the same tincture warming compresses. They also help with deformity of the hands.
Recipe of egg yolk and vinegar essence in a glass jar. Put a fresh chicken egg, pour 50 g of vinegar essence, close the lid and put in the refrigerator for 24 hours. Then add a tablespoon of unsalted pork lard and stir the mass to homogeneity. Wash the sore spot, wipe and apply the ointment. After an hour, remove the ointment and lubricate the skin with cream. Treatment should be carried out for several days in a row.